Hey, Mr. MiyagiStyle. We have a viewer request today. So, I had somebody ask me on the channel to do a kind of a tutorial on how to get stats from the older GPS remote onto the first generation Ace Pro. Now, when I got my Ace Pro, I actually bought the GPS preview remote. And I had the older GPS remote for my One RS twin. It was okay, worked okay. I wasn't really a big fan of the GPS remote. I later found a use for a GPS remote in terms of just using it as a remote control for my Go 3S. Believe it or not, it actually works with the Go 3S quite well. To be able to turn on your, I did a video on it. You can actually turn on the Go 3S camera on its own with the remote, which is kind of cool. So that gives you a little bit of a distance for a very small format camera that you can stick on somebody and just using that remote to take the video. So it worked really well with that. And I haven't really gone back to using the GPS remote with my Ace Pro or Ace Pro 2 just because I had the preview remote and I much prefer the preview remote. I haven't used it in a long time. And I did a quick video of driving around and to sync it up. I did notice one thing that I didn't really notice before. It could be just me and my setup and a glitch, but there was a bit of a sync issue. Like there was a couple seconds sync between the speed of the vehicle and the actual stats data before it would actually, if I was accelerating, it would take a couple seconds before the speedometer went up. So that could have been just me, or it could be just because it's an old remote with the Ace Pro camera, which they actually never was compatible. They actually made it later on to be compatible on a firmware update. But if this is a chronic issue with that remote, I'm sure people have been submitting that bug to Insta360, and it would have been fixed by now because the compatibility was made long ago. This is the first time I've actually used it with the Ace Pro in like eons. So just bear with me. I'm the point of this is the gentleman was asking how to embed stat data onto the video after you've taken the video with the remote. There's one thing that you have to remember. The gentleman who's asking for this tutorial, make sure that when you're using any of the remote, whether it's the GPS or the preview remote, you get a good lock on the GPS satellite before you start recording. Because if you don't, and that GPS lock is not there, there will be no data on the video until that lock is on, and then data all of a sudden show up on your stats display. That actually happened to me one time. I thought it was locked in, and it took a while from maybe I was in a bad spot or whatever, and it took a while. I'm like, where's my stats? I had the remote on, but the remote didn't lock onto the satellite until further down. All of a sudden, the odometer, speedometer showed up. So that's something you might want to keep in mind. I'm gonna go through this very quickly. It's gonna be on a desktop app. And I'm just gonna go in a little bit, guys. I'm gonna try and do some videos before I leave. I leave in about 2 weeks for my trip to Far East. I've got a million things that I have to do other than play with my toys. I wish I did, because today I just got some really nice accessories. I got the Insta360 Flow Pro 2. And I also got that new 2-in-1 folding selfie stick. Not the Peter McKinnon one. I wish I had the Peter McKinnon one. But these are two things I've kind of been looking forward to and I really want to play with. There's a couple of small other accessories as well. So I'll be hopefully, if I don't get to all of them, I'm going to get to them when I get back on my trip. I'll have some time to play with it and I'll do up a full review for you guys. But anyways, I'm going to move on to the tutorial. But for the gentleman who asked for this, I hope this is what you're looking for, and I hope this helps. So first and foremost, I'm going to start off with starting the Insta360. I'm going to do this on the desktop. I'm not going to do it on a phone. There's just no way for me to do this efficiently on the phone. It's pretty much a similar idea on the phone. I think it's a little bit easier. On the phone, instead of on the right panel, it's a swipe up. When you swipe up, you'll see the stats features that I'm going to show you on here. So just so you know. So as you can see, I started the Insta360 app, desktop app up. I'm just going to bring in a video here. And this is just a video of me driving around. I'm going to turn the volume down because you don't want to hear me talking. The Insta360 app just had an update today. I'm not sure what they changed, but every time an Insta360 app has an update, they always add new things to it, which is really cool. And I'm liking it more and more. I still use CapCut for the majority of my videos just because there's so much, and I actually pay for that. So there's so much more advanced features that I use for my videos. But to start off with, the Insta360 desktop app, it's a great application for beginners to intermediate. And it does have a very good set of color grading tools on the right hand side to get you pretty good results right off the software. So I definitely learned how to use that and get used to it. The stats is only available in this app. You can't activate stats on like CapCut or DaVinci or whatever. It has to be specific to this particular app. Yeah, 2 weeks. I'm gone, guys. I'm going to be sunbathing for 3 weeks. So touring Thailand and my hometown Malaysia. So it's going to be awesome. As you can see, I've got a video I did. And this is on the Ace Pro camera, not the Ace Pro 2. And I've got stats. This was used with the remote. And the remote here, you can see the old GPS remote and the Ace Pro. The one thing I noticed with this remote is there, as I mentioned before, I think there's a sync issue with this remote, at least with me anyways, when I used it. But to wake up your camera and to start recording, change modes, it's a nice little remote. It's a cheap remote to buy and do all those things. Stats, however, I would probably stick with the preview remote just because it's more accurate, and it's right on the ball. I've never had a sync issue with the GPS preview remote because this will work with pretty much all the cameras, even the Go 3S, which is kind of neat. Just to record, change the modes. It's a nice little remote. So that said, you have a remote that will last a little bit longer. You don't have to worry about power or the battery life on it. Unfortunately, just an LED screen. There's no preview on it. I personally, if you ask me, I would spend the money just to get the preview one. Just because you can do a lot more with the remote. It has a nice screen on there. You can control, you can view, you can frame your shot right on the remote. You can do all the detail settings that you can't do with this one. This one you can change the video, photo mode, time-lapse mode, but you can't do any of the detail settings like EV, white balance, that kind of thing. You can't do that on the preview remote. There's also a couple of other apps on the remote that you can use. There's Compass, there's a trip recording feature on it, and a couple other things too. So there's more to the remote. And it is actually smaller too. Anyways, I'll continue on with this. Pretty simple. When you bring up your video file, you can do all your color stuff. Like if I want to just slap on Color Plus, I can do that. I can do any adjustments on the right hand side. I can do angle correction, I can do motion ND, that kind of stuff. Now, as you move to the right hand side, you're going to see, as you move down these icons here, you're going to see the video settings, the color optimization, you're going to see the audio settings, and then the next one down, you're going to see a icon of like an odometer gauge. And when you click on that, that's your stats. Now, to enable stats, by default, there's nothing on your screen because nothing on the right hand side is selected. To add stats onto your screen, you need to pick, first of all, your style template, your theme. BMW is a new one. And then there's energy, there's speed, there's rhythm. My favorite is speed and rhythm. Those are the two I use the most. So I'll start off just by, so these are the data switches. That's the data you're going to put on your screen, okay, before you export. First thing I'm going to do is your speed. So you'll see on the left hand side, there's a speed thing right here. Okay, so this is the mode, the BMW. So let's put a few on there. So I usually put speed. I'll put date and time. I will put distance, and I'll put route. Those are the biggest, and acceleration. Those are the 5 biggest I use. And you can actually drag and drop these around. You can just click on it and then move it around. So it's not static. You can dynamically change the position of these data switches on your screen. So if you don't like this BMW Motorrad theme, you can always switch it. So this is the energy theme, okay, on the right hand side. My favorite is the speed one. It keeps it nice and simple with the speed and everything. And then this is my favorite. I love this kind of style. There's other ones too. There's this one here. This one I also use quite often. It's a very simple theme. And then you have this one. This one's kind of cool. So let's go back to this one here, which is my favorite. Okay. To see this working, all I have to do is hit play. And you'll see this go. Right? Everything will start to move. All the data will kick in. Right? And you can actually fast forward. So that's how you would implement the data switches onto your screen, just by selecting. And you can pick what let's put them all on here. So all 9 settings. Again, the screen gets a little bit cluttered when you do that, but for the sake of the sample of this tutorial, we'll do it all, and you can change the theme again. Yeah, I still like mine better. Okay, and I can move this over here if I want to. I don't want it on the left hand side. I just want my speed speedometer on the left hand side. And once you move this over, so I'm going to export this. Pretty simple. I'm just going to do a small segment. I'm just going to drag a little bit. Actually, let's do the front. And I'm going to drag the end. Let's do it here. 13 seconds. Let's do 30 seconds of video. I don't want to wait too long for the export. So 30 seconds of video, I'm going to export out, go up to the top right hand corner. I'm going to export. Now here's what I usually do. You don't have to do this, you can play around with it. I play around with the bit rate in terms of exporting. I find 160 for Ace Pro 2 is pretty good. The higher you go, the bigger the file size. It's just a quality thing. You can go maximum, but I've done maximum. I've done 120. 120 to 160 seems to be a good medium to export your videos. And I always shoot at H265, which is HEVC, which keeps the file size a little bit more compressed and retains the quality. But unfortunately, HEVC and H265 is not as compatible video format in other players or other platforms, phones, that kind of thing, or TV or that kind of thing. If you're worried about compatibility, stick with H264. That is a more universal file compatibility, but your file size, I think, is a little bit bigger as well. So I like to keep it. I haven't really had it with my work and exporting. I've really had no issues with H265. So, and you'll see on here, like just that short segment, it's 582 megabytes, and it'll give you an estimate. Just start the export. The neat thing about the Insta360 Desktop Studio is that they've added this task center. I think they did this about 5 or 6 revisions ago, which is great because when I first started working with Insta360 Studio, when you export a video, you can't use it. You have to wait till this is over before you can go on and do your other task. Whereas this one, I can just close it off, and it's up here on a task. And it does it in the background, exports in the background. I can start another video up if I wanted to, so I can just go in here and add, video number 2, and I can do my stats on here if I wanted to. I can just and then I can export this, and I'll add it to the task center, and I can have 4 or 5 tasks going on here in the background, which is kind of nice. So it doesn't hijack your software, so you can't use it. Anyways, we'll wait for this one to finish. It's almost done. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to close this off. Don't need it anymore. And I'm going to run this file. And here it is. So turn the volume down. And there's your stats right there. Everything's embedded. Quality looks excellent. I did do the color plus on there just to brighten it up a little bit. Because it was kind of a shady day that day. But anyways, that's it in a nutshell. It's pretty simple to do. Again, just make sure that you get that GPS lock with the remote to get the stats working, and just record it with the remote and you're good to go. Once you download that video, data is actually embedded into the video. So when you download it, Insta360 Studio will recognize that all that data in the video, and then you can incorporate that or embed that into your final export. But I hope that helps, and I hope that's what you're looking for. If it's not, if you have any other questions, just drop me a comment below, and I'll try and answer as much as I can. Again, I'm leaving in 2 weeks, so I'm going to be kind of crazy for the next couple weeks, just getting stuff ready. But I'll try and answer as quick as I can. Anyways, guys, I hope that helps. I will see you guys on the flip side. Ciao.